In this class, we are going to solve past paper of May in 2025, variant 2-1, and it's paper 2. So, starting with the first question, the speed time graph for a racing car is divided into four sections P, Q, R, and S. The car starts the race but soon crashes into a wall of the tires. You have to tell which section of the graph shows that there is an acceleration that is changing. Okay, so it's a speed time graph. We know in speed time graph, slope is equals to acceleration, right? So if you see, this is zero slope, P is zero slope, this Q is changing slope, this R is also changing, and if you see, this is also a straight line. Okay, so this is also a constant slope. Okay, straight line shows a constant slope and curved line show a changing slope, so it's option C. Q and R are only changing acceleration. In the next question, the diagram shows four forces acting on an aeroplane. Which arrow shows the direction of the resultant of the four forces? Okay, so what we can do, we can resolve these two first. So they are in opposite direction. So 60 minus 40 gives you 20 and 20 in the rightward direction. That will be resultant of these two. And when we solve these two, they're also in opposites. 60 minus 120 will give you 120, 60. So that will be in the direction of a greater force. So now you have two forces, 60 and 20. The resultant will be somewhere between them, and it will be more towards the greater force, that is 60. So it should be somewhere at this point. So it's option B. In third question, the diagram shows two metal blocks X and Y suspended from identical force meter. X and Y have identical dimensions. If dimensions are identical, it's mean area and volume will also be identical. And if you see the Newton meter, this is showing 2 Newton and this is showing 3 Newton. So both have the different weights. Okay, so it's option D that is correct. Okay, they have the equal volumes and different weights. In question 4, a girl has a gold necklace. Which apparatus does she needs to find the density? So density, we know it is mass over volume. Necklace, for mass you need the balance, and for volume it is an irregular shape object, right? So you need the measuring cylinder. So it's option C that is correct. In question 5, the spring has a length 25 centimeter when a load of 2 Newton is suspended from it. Okay, so the spring has a length of, so when this is the length, this is the force. You can call it L1, this can be called as F1. This is the length L2, this is the force F2. Okay, what is the spring constant of the spring? So what we can do, we don't know the original length, so from the Hooke's law we know that F is equals to kx. So k can be written as F over x. X is the change in length. Let's suppose if original length is, let's call original length L naught. Okay, so you can write it as F over, if this is F1, this will be L1 minus L naught. Okay, so what we have the force is 2 Newton, L1 is 25, L naught is unknown. Same as for F2, you can write as K is spring constant will be same because it's the same spring, it will be F2 over X2. That will be F2 over L2 minus L naught. It can be written as 7 divided by 35 minus L naught. So this is, let's suppose, equation 1, this is equation 2. You can equate 1 and 2, what we will get? We will get 2 over 25 minus L naught is equals to 7 divided by 35 minus L naught. Okay, now you have to rearrange the equation. It will be 2 into 35 minus L naught is equals to 7 into 25 minus L naught. This will give you 70 minus 2 L naught is equals to 7 into 25 minus 7 L naught. You can take this on the left hand side, this on the right hand side. It will give you 5 L naught is equals to 7 into 25 minus 70. Okay, so subtracting both of them, it will give you 21. So original length is 21. Okay, so L naught is equals to 21. So now you can use any one of the information to get the spring constant. So what I can do, I can use, let's use this one. So K is equals to, I can write as K is equals to 2 over 25 minus 21. So it gives you 2 over 4, 0.5 will be the answer. Okay, Newton per centimeter. So it's option B, that is correct. Okay. Moving to the next question, the diagram EH shows a block of wood on a frictionless surface. You have to tell which one is in equilibrium state. So if you see in part this one, they have the opposite forces, but line of action of force is not same. One force is acting on this line of action, one is acting at this line of action, so it can produce the rotation. So this is not in equilibrium. They both are in the same direction, so this is also not in equilibrium. This is their line of action is same and they're in opposite direction, so this is in equilibrium, and this is also, they are cancelling each other and their line of action is also same, so this is also in equilibrium. So it's G and H, it's option D. The next question, which statement is not correct, you have to tell. The momentum of the system is conserved, that is correct. The only wrong option is option C. Force acting is equals to change in momentum over time. That is wrong, because we know F is equals to change in momentum divided by time. Okay. Else all the three A, B, and D, they are the correct statement. Okay. We have to choose not correct. In 8, a force acting on a moving ball causes its motion to change. This force stays constant but makes the force produce a greater change in the motion of the ball. Okay, so as we know, force is equals to ma. So force depends on mass, and the force causes the acceleration, or something that stops the change in state, that is the inertia, right? So inertia of the object defines how easy or difficult it is to move the object, and inertia depends on the mass. So decreasing the mass will help you. Okay, so it's option A. In question 9, a farmer has two carts. The cart have the same weight, but one has a four narrow wheels and the other have a four wide wheels. Okay, weight is same and area is different. We know pressure is force over area, so pressure is inversely proportional with the area. The one with a bigger wheel will have a less pressure. Okay, so it will be option D. In question 10, a hot gas and a cool liquid are at the same pressure. Which row describes the separation and the motion of the particle? Okay, in gases, the particles are very far apart as compared to the liquid, and in gases, the particle will also have more kinetic energy. So they are moving at a higher speed. It's option A, that is correct. A fixed mass of gas has a, this is the volume, this is the pressure. Okay, so at volume 1.2, it has a pressure of 200 kilopascal. The gas expands at the constant temperature to a volume. This is the volume. You have to tell the new pressure. You can call it P2. So we have the relation P2 V2 can be equals to P1 V1. So P2 is equals to P1 V1 divided by V2. So 200 into 1.2 divided by 1.8, that will give you 133.33 kilopascal. When you round it off, it's B option. Okay. In question 12, the specific heat capacity of solid P is greater than solid Q. Okay, what the specific heat capacity was, it's mean it, if specific heat capacity is high, it need more energy, or you can say it require more energy to change temperature. Okay, so it's option C that is correct. Okay, the one with a higher specific heat capacity will need more energy to change its temperature. In question 13, when water evaporate, what escape from the surface of the water? Okay, what is escaping from it? The molecules will escape from it. Okay, individual molecules. In question 14, a sealed container of gas is heated, the pressure of the gas increases. Which statement explains this increase in the pressure? Okay, when, let's suppose this is the container, when these particles are going to collide with the walls of the container, that will exert the pressure. Okay, so that is what matters. So when you increase the temperature, they will have more kinetic energy, they will collide more frequently or with a higher speed, and there will be a more change in momentum that will cause the more force. So it's option A that is correct. Okay, why B is not correct? Because pressure is not because of the individual collisions with each other, it is with the wall of the container. Okay, in question 15, a student has a copper rod and a wooden rod. Both rods have the same dimensions. The student put one end of each rod into a beaker of the crushed ice. After a few minutes, the student pick up the rod with the end not in the ice. This statement is correct. Okay, so if you're putting the rod into the liquid, into the icy liquid, so what will happen? They will lose the heat, the cold temperature or the heat will be transferred to the other end, right? The one with a good conduction ability will be more colder, right? So copper is a good conductor as compared to the wood, so its other end will be more colder, so it's option A that is correct. The diagram shows a black object X at a constant temperature. The arrows represent the absorption emission. Object Y is the same constant temperature as X and is identical except that it has a white surface. Okay, we know good absorbers are good emitters. That you need to keep in mind when they're talking about the radiation, and we know black is a good absorber. So black is a good absorber, it will absorb more, it will emit more as well. Okay. So in the next question, the diagram shows a cork with a weight attached so that the cork float upright in the water. Transversal wave passing through the water, in which direction do the particles will move? Cork is like this, transversal wave moving from X to Y. We know in transversal wave particle move perpendicular to the motion, so it will be up and down, perpendicular to the motion of the wave. Okay. In question 18, a thin converging lens is used as a magnifying glass. How does the image compare with the object? Okay, in magnifying glass, you have virtual and upright image. Okay, virtual is always upright; it will never be inverted. In the question 19, the diagram shows two plane mirrors at 90 to each other. A ray of light is incident on one end. The ray reflects off both mirrors before reaching a screen. You have to label at which point it will be reached. Okay, so reflection is happening. So if you estimate, if this is the angle of incidence, almost same angle you have to draw it here. So that will give you the reflection. So it will go somehow somewhere like this. If you make the same angle, and it here again you can draw the normal, this is the incident angle, and the same angle you have to draw it, so it will reach B. Okay, It's option B. In question 20, the speed of light in a material is 50% of the speed of light in air. What is the refractive index of the material? Refractive index relation is n is equals to c by v. Okay, so if this is, they are telling you that v is basically 50%, it's mean half of c, so you can write as 1 by 2c. Okay, v is equals to, so c divided by 1 by 2c. C is cancelled with this thing, this 2 will go out, so n is equals to 2. A beam of white light is split into a spectrum of 7 colors. Which name is given to this process? This is called dispersion. Okay, splitting of wave into the different frequencies is called dispersion. In question 20, satellites are sometimes used to receive and retransmit television signals. Which row shows the type of satellite and the electromagnetic wave used? Okay, for the satellites, you need a satellite that is stationary with respect to the earth for the transmitting the television signals, okay, for broadcasting. So you have to choose between C and D, and the best frequency range is microwave, so it is option D. In question 23, a sound wave travels through the air and strikes a solid block of steel. Some of the sound is reflected from the steel and some is transmitted through the steel. How does the speed and the wavelength of the sound is in steel compared to? Okay, you have to keep in mind, sound speed is fastest in solid, then it will slow down in liquid, and you can say slowest in air. Okay, and secondly, you have to keep in mind speed is directly proportional to wavelength, provided that frequency is constant. So if speed is increasing, the wavelength will also increase. It's option D. The diagram shows a bracelet containing two magnets. The arrow represents the pattern and the direction of magnetic fields. Which row identifies the magnetic pole at J, the magnetic pole at K, and where the magnetic field will be strongest? Okay, if you remember the magnetic field, if this is north pole, this is south pole, magnetic field line will come out of the north. So they are coming out of this thing. So this is for sure north, and this is the same. This is also north. Okay, and as they both are the of the same poles, so they will repel, cancel out each other. So at this portion there will be a zero field, weak field, and this will be the stronger region. Okay, so it's option A that is correct. In question 25, which row describe an electric field and its direction? Okay, so electric field is the region in which an electric charge experience a force. Okay, perfect. And direction of the force on a positive charge. Yes. If let's suppose if there is a positive plate, there is a negative plate, we know that electric field will be from positive to negative like this. And if you place a positive charge here, it will also experience a force towards the same direction in which the electric field is moving. In question 26, copper wire is available in fixed length but in various diameter. Each wire has a different resistance. Which relationship between R and D is correct? Okay, so R we know is inversely proportional to area, and area of a wire can be written as pi R square, or it can be written as pi D square over 4. These relation you have to memorize. So if you put this thing here, so you can write as pi D square over 4. Pi and this 4 is constant, so you can say that R is inversely proportional to D square. Okay, so it's option D that is correct. In question 27, the diagram shows three 20 ohm resistors R1, R2, R3, and the switch S is open. The potential difference is 9. What is the potential difference across R3 when switch S is closed? Okay, when this thing is open, the circuit will be like there is only R2 and there is R3. Okay, when this thing is open, this R1 will be ineffective. Okay, in that case, so if there is a voltage of, they are telling you the amount of voltage here is 9 watts. So if this is 9 watt, this is also 20 ohms, this is also 20 ohms, so this will also be 9 watts, right? So both are 9 watts, so this thing will be 18 watts. Okay. Now they're telling when this switch is closed. Now this switch is closed. Let me draw it here. When the switch is closed, what will happen then? This is okay. This is 20 ohms. This is 20. This is 20. So the two are in parallel. So this is R1, this is R2. So if I have to solve this thing, what I can do, 1 over R1 to combine resistance of it, 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2, that is 1 over 20 plus 1 over 20, that will give me 2 over 20. So combine resistance of them, when you take the reciprocal at the end, 1 over R12 is giving me 1 over 10. So R2 is equals, R12 is equals to 10 ohms. Okay, so this circuit is basically can be simplified in a way that there is a 10 ohm resistor and there is a 20 ohm resistor. Okay, so this circuit is equivalent to this thing, and there is a 18 watts. Achha, if you see, this resistance is 2 times of this one. So the one with the higher resistance will have the more voltage. So this resistance will have this. Let's suppose this is called, this is R12, this thing is R3. We can say that R3 is 2 times of R12, same as then voltage across V3 will be 2 times of voltage across 12. Okay, and this is one equation that you have. And again, we know this thing as well, V3 plus V12 should be equals to what? Should be equals to total EMF, that is 18 watts. Okay, now you can use this equation here. You can put this value here. What you will get, 2V12 plus V12 will be equals to 18 watts. So V1, it will be giving you 3V12 is equals to 18 watts. So V12 is equals to 6 watt. So this thing have 6 watts. So this thing will have 12 watts simply. Okay, so it's option C that is correct. In the next question, the circuit shows all include a DC power supply, one diode and two lightning emitting diodes. In which circuit will both LEDs be turned on? Okay, you need to know that the diode only allow the current when this side is positive and this is negative. So if you see here, the current can flow from here, but when it reach here it can flow, but here it will not flow. Okay, here also it will be stopped at this point. In this case, it can pass from here, it can pass from here, it can pass from here. So it's option C that is correct. In question 29, a wire connected to a resistor R is moved in a magnetic field. A current is induced in a direction. Current is induced. In which direction is the wire moved? Okay, it's a generator effect. Why? Because the current is moving. In generator effect, what you have to use, right hand rule. Okay, so you have to stretch your right hand first finger in the direction of magnetic field, second finger in the direction of current, the thumb will show you the direction of force, that is C. Which component is not found in the AC generator? AC generator don't have the split rings, they only have the slip rings. Okay, there is a current in a straight metallic wire. Which row describe the direction and the pattern of the magnetic field? Okay, so around a wire the magnetic fields will be in a circular pattern like this, and you have to use right hand thumb rule. Okay, thumb should be in the direction of current, the curled finger will show you the direction of magnetic field. It's option A. A simple transformer contains an iron core. What is the function of the iron core in the transformer? It's to link the magnetic field in primary coil to the secondary coil. Okay, this is the purpose of it. An alpha particle scattering experiment, a beam of alpha particle is fired at very thin piece of the gold foil. In which direction do most of the alpha particle? If you remember the gold foil experiment, most of the particle will pass straight through it. Okay, it's option A. In question 34, what you have 5 proton, 5 electron, and this is the nucleon number. Nucleon is basically protons plus neutrons. So proton plus neutrons are 11. This proton is 5, so you can write neutron is equals to 11 minus 5, that is 6. In question 35, a detector placed near a radioactive isotope give a measured count rate of this, and half-life is 3 hours. The background radiation is 32, and you have to tell after 6 hours. So first you have to find corrected count rate, or you can say radiation of sample. Radiation of sample is reading, that is 800 minus background radiation 32. Okay, so this thing will give you 768. Okay, now what is happening, you have to check half-life is 3 hours, and you have to tell after 6. So number of half-life you have to keep in mind. Number of half-life you have to find is total time minus time of one half-life. Okay, so this relation you have to keep in mind. So it will be n is equals to roll time is 6 hours, and this is 3 hours. This will give you 2. So 2 half-lives are passing. So for 2 half-life, this radiation 768 will be divided by 4. So when it is divided by 4, it will give you 768 divided by 4 is 192. Now this is the decayed element that is remaining after 6 hours, but when you measure from the counter, it also includes the background radiation. Okay, because that is still there, that is 32. So 192 plus 32 will give you 224. It's option C. The next question, a sodium is radioactive isotope that emit beta radiation. Which nuclear equation shows how sodium is decayed? Acha, whenever the beta is decaying, you have to keep in mind uh, charge will be increased by 1. Okay, so this is option A, that is correct. Okay, this charge number, if this is my, secondly you have to check the balancing of equation. On left hand side this is 11, they should add up to 11. 12 minus 1 is 11. If you see here, this is 11, this is 10 minus 1, this will give you 9. That is wrong. This is 11, this will 9 plus 2, beta is not 2. Okay, this beta is not 2, so it's option A, that is correct. Okay, which safety precautions must be taken when using a source of gamma radiation? You can, is one is not correct because reducing the distance will not help. Reduce the time of exposure, yes. Use a suitable shielding, yes. So it's option D, that is correct. For question 38, a student defined 3 periods of time. Time taken of Earth to orbit the Sun. Okay, this is 365 days. The time taken for the Earth to rotate once on its axis, this is 24 hours. 365 days, 1 year, this is 24 hours. And the time tm taken for the moon to orbit the Earth, so it orbit the Earth in almost 28 days. Okay, so this is the shortest, and this is the longest. So it's option B, that is correct. In question 39, which statement about the universe is correct? This is option C. Light emitted from distant galaxies appears redshifted because all of the things are going away. And when something is moving away from you, its wavelength that you receive will be increased. It's called redshift. Which statement about the cosmic microwave background radiation is correct? This is option C. CMBR have had a shorter wavelength in the past because temperature was high and there was more frequency, less wavelength. Okay, so we are done with the paper.